Have you ever wondered what happens on a farm after the sun goes down? At the edge of a quiet, peaceful valley stood a place called Old Willow Farm. By day, it was just like any other farm. You might see chickens pecking in the yard, cows grazing in the pasture, and pigs lazing in the mud. It was ordinary, predictable, and calm. But when night fell, everything changed. Old Willow Farm wasn't sleeping. It was listening. Deep in the darkness, the animals knew something was wrong. The cow, with her hooves planted firmly on the ground, felt a strange, deep tremble that shivered up through her legs. It wasn't an earthquake. Not exactly. It was something else, something rhythmic and heavy. Out in the fields, the sheep, with their thick woolly coats, sensed a sudden shift in the wind. The air grew heavy, carrying a scent of disturbed earth and ancient stone. The pig, with his sensitive snout pressed against the ground, heard peculiar echoes coming from far beneath the soil. It was a hollow, grinding sound, like giant gears turning deep within the world. And high up on the fence post, the rooster, whose job it was to watch for the dawn, saw shadows moving in the pre-dawn gloom. These weren't normal shadows cast by the moon. They were massive, shifting shapes that seemed to have a life of their own. Something was deeply, fundamentally wrong. The animals felt it in their bones. As the first hint of light touched the horizon, the ground itself began to crack. Not small fissures, but huge gaping chasms that split the fields open, and from the very heart of the farmland, a colossal figure began to rise. It was a giant, but not one of flesh and blood. This creature was made of packed earth, tangled roots, and enormous stones. Its shoulders were boulders, its arms were ancient tree trunks, and its eyes glowed with a dim, weary light. It was the Plow giant. The giant didn't roar. It didn't scream or make any threatening gestures. It simply started to move. With each slow, deliberate step, it moved forward, its immense weight flattening everything in its path. Fences splintered, crops were crushed, and the very soil was compacted into a hard, barren surface. The farm was being erased, step by agonizing step. But the animals of Old Willow Farm didn't scatter in fear. They didn't run. Instead, they gathered together, united by a silent, shared understanding. The cow stood her ground, her strong body absorbing the tremors from the giant's footsteps, trying to steady the very earth beneath her. The flock of sheep spread out across the fields, their calm presence somehow soothing the panicked land, stopping the cracks from spreading further. The clever pig began digging furiously, not in fear, but with purpose. He uncovered a network of hidden, underground water tunnels, redirecting the flow to soften the earth in the giant's path. And the rooster, seeing the danger that threatened the entire valley, flew to the highest point of the barn and began to crow. He crowed long and loud, not to signal the dawn, but to send a warning, a desperate alarm that echoed through the sleeping valley. As they worked together, a profound truth dawned on them. The Plow giant wasn't a monster bent on destruction. It wasn't evil. It was exhausted. The land itself was tired. For years it had been pushed too hard, ploughed too fast, and worked for too long without a moment's rest. The giant was the land's cry for help, a desperate attempt to stop the relentless cycle. Understanding this, the animals changed their strategy. They weren't fighting the giant, they were trying to heal it. They worked to slow the flow of water, allowing it to soak deep into the parched soil. They gently aerated the ground, helping it breathe again. They gave the land what it so desperately needed: time to rest, time to recover, time to be still. And the giant stopped. It stood motionless for a long, silent moment, the weary light in its eyes softening. Then, slowly, with a great sigh that sounded like shifting stones, it began to sink back into the earth. The boulders and roots receded, the cracks in the fields closed, and the massive figure disappeared back into the depths from which it came. When the sun finally rose, morning arrived on Old Willow Farm. To any person passing by, it looked like just another quiet, ordinary day. The fields were a bit messy, but the farm was intact. It stood not just saved, but stronger than ever. The people of the valley woke up, unaware of the crisis that had been averted in the night, but the animals knew, they knew the truth. Sometimes protecting your home isn't about fighting a great battle. Sometimes it's about knowing when to stop, when to listen, and when to let the world heal. If you enjoyed this story, please like the video, subscribe to our channel, and make sure to turn on those notifications so you never miss a new adventure. And now, we want to hear from you. Which farm animal should be the hero in our next story? A brave horse, a curious goat, or a clever duck? Let us know your ideas in the comments below. We can't wait to read them. Thanks for watching.